In this video, I'll be demonstrating one of my newest pieces. It's the little Notice Me Senpai UWU Hands, and this was a recent commission, and it's on theme with what I'm going to have in my art show coming up, which is an emphasis on the subject of hands. For these hand painting portraits that I've been doing recently, I really like to have the hands be kind of like dismembered floating hands against a black or dark background. And so the first step that I've decided works really well for this process is painting the background completely and letting that dry completely before I continue with the next steps of painting the hands. So for this time, I thought it might be a little bit helpful for me to add in a bit of my color mixing process to this video. And if you're interested in more of that in future videos or anything, just let me know, but I decided to add it today. For pretty much all of my still life and natural subjected oil paintings, I will use a variation of red, yellow, blue, maybe some kind of brown, maybe some kind of black, and titanium white. If you're wanting to know the specific oil painting colors I'm using for this particular video, these first four colors are from Winsor & Newton. They are bright red, Winsor lemon, ultramarine deep, and burnt sienna, and the last two are from Gamblin, being Mars black and titanium white. For this portion of the video, I have not sped up anything. This is real life time, and this is how I mix my oil paints before I started painting with a palette knife. I don't mix every single color that I see because that just would be unnecessary and time consuming, but instead I mix at most no more than like 15. I didn't do that many in this particular painting, but I try to mix the largest amounts of colors that I see, as well as one or two specific colors if it's like extremely different, like a really bright color or a really dark color. And I do that with pretty much just using red, yellow, and blue to varying degrees. And this is a skill that you're going to have to practice, but I guarantee once you figure out how to mix colors properly, your paintings are really going to improve a lot. So now I'm speeding up the color mixing process now that you've seen the first two colors being mixed at real time. If in future videos you're interested in me slowing down and talking more through the mixing process, just let me know. I ended up mixing 13 colors, and here they are. For this oil painting, like most of my oil paintings, I will start with the darkest color that I see, and I'll gradually lighten my colors as I paint. The reason for this is that oil paints, when they brush up against another color or you mix a color on the canvas, they are more inclined to lighten in color rather than darken. It is a lot harder to put dark back into a color than it is to lighten up a color. And so just from my process, it's a lot easier for me to start dark. This is not an important detail to the painting process, but I have two dogs. So in my art studio, I have two dog beds set up to the left so you could see my dog Jericho deciding to join me for a bit during this painting process. Another side note, I guess I wanted to talk about this painting a little bit. This was a commission, but I am doing a series of hand portraits. I have a show coming up locally in a few months, and one of the themes of the show are going to be hands. I think hands are really cool. They're really nice to look at, and they just have like a lot of meaning. So I think this hand portrait thing is going to be really cool. But someone locally saw one of my hand portraits that I had done recently, and they asked me to paint this, a commission for them. And I thought that was a really funny idea, and I was like, of course I'll paint this. So if you're not familiar, these are like the Notice Me Senpai hands, or like the UWU hands, and they show up a lot in text messages when someone's trying to be like cheeky or shy. And I thought it was just a hilarious concept. And if anyone wants to give me some interesting hand poses for this art show it's not until July, I'm all ears. I'm down to paint some kind of interesting hand poses. Right now, most of my poses are kind of angelic or ethereal, but I'm very open to doing something comedic. I just need the inspiration. So back to more details about this painting process. Something that I'm trying to do with my paintings is kind of have that less is more mentality. So I'm really not trying to blend colors on the canvas. I am going in and correcting colors where I put down a color that I felt was right in the moment, and then I realize it's probably not right. So I do that kind of blending, correcting, but in general, I'm trying to just put down the colors correctly the first time and then don't touch it again. And that way it looks very interesting and textured. And when you take a step back, the painting looks like two hands, but when you come closer, you see a hodgepodge of, I don't know, smudges and brush strokes. And I think that's a really cool thing about oil painting, and especially because with technology how it is today, I know a lot of people like to do hyper realistic art, and I don't think that's bad, but with how technology is, I think it's really important for us as artists to try to do something that distinguishes us from a printer. And it just, I think this is a nice way to be expressive with your art. So let me zoom in. You can see the details on the thumb looking from a distance. I think they look really stunning. But then when you come in up close, it kind of looks like a mess. And honestly, that's what I'm going for. I think that's a really cool thing about painting like this. Anyway, that wraps up the walkthrough of how I painted these UWU hands. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for hand paintings, let me know in the comments below, and I'll be sure to get back to you, and maybe I can make that happen. Hope everyone has a good day.